Hi, everyone. Welcome to your internship class. I just want to do a quick walkthrough with you so that you can see kind of what we're doing this semester as far as your internship and all the requirements. So, since you have signed your internship enrollment form, you can now see this class on Canvas. This is actually my version of it, and this is the student view, but yours should look very similar. So first things first, you are watching the welcome video that you can see right here, which is great. When you need a syllabus, it will be right here on this link. Next, we come down to our pre-internship documents. All of these items must be completed before you start your hours at your internship. First things first, your internship approval and enrollment form. You have already filled this out. This is how you got into internship class. So what you need to do is go search your email. You have an Adobe PDF workflow that you've already signed. And when it was completed, meaning you signed it, your site supervisor signed it, and your central advisor who enrolled you in the class signed it, you then got a copy in your email that says internship approval and enrollment form signed and completed. So go find that. You'll be able to download the PDF and then you will upload it into Canvas right here. When that happens, this little dot should turn green. Next up is your resume. If you already have a resume, awesome. You go ahead and upload it right here. If you do not have a resume, there is a link here to our Skills First. ACU gives you your free account of Skills First. You can go make your own resume and then upload it here. Obviously, there's a lot of other ways to make resumes. Any way you make a resume is great for you. Just go ahead and upload it here and then hit submit assignment, just the same way you would with any other Canvas assignment. The next form up is your affiliation agreement. You need to talk to your ACU faculty mentor to see if you need an affiliation agreement. If you're doing something at ACU on campus, or if you're with Hendrick, then you do not need an affiliation agreement. If you are somewhere else, if you are off ACU's campus in the community of Abilene, or maybe you went back home for the summer and you're doing this, in Fort Worth or Florida or wherever the case may be, then you most likely need an affiliation agreement. That is something that your faculty mentor and you have already started or spoke about, and it's something that has to be signed by the place where you will be doing your internship. So when you get that, it will be uploaded here. You turn in all three of those things and your professor grades them, you will see your check marks, and that will then unlock the rest of your internship paperwork. So, depending on what semester you take this, you have different due dates. Hopefully, your professor puts those due dates in, but we also gave you some ideas up here about when these should be completed. So your 40 hours worth of internship should be completed about 25% of the way through the semester. 80 hours should be about halfway through. 120 should be about 75% through. And the end of your internship is the last week of classes. So if you're doing this during a traditional fall semester, your first week is, that last week of August. And that means your last week of the class, everything is due by the first week of December. If you are doing this in a spring semester, then our first week is usually that first week that we have classes in January, which is the second or third week of January. And the last week is when everything in the 160-hour part is due, would be that first week of May. Finally, if you're doing this during a summer, we usually start summer classes about mid to late May. And then everything for the 160 hours, everything above this will be due by the first week of August. So that should help keep you on track a little bit. One of the things that you'll notice, you will be doing at 40 hours, you will be doing an hours report, which is a 1 to 2 page paper, and you're just answering these questions. This is your reflection. We're not asking you to use AI to complete any of this. This is your thoughts on your internship. So you will be answering these questions when you get to 40 hours, and then you'll be submitting it here. Also, what you should be doing during all those 40 hours is keeping a timesheet. So this is available to you as soon as you complete your pre-internship documents, and you can come in here and you can download this timesheet. This timesheet looks like kind of like a timesheet that you would have at work. And so it looks like this. So you'll be taking this with you to your internship, and obviously your name, where you're working, the day you start, the day you hit 40 hours, and then how many total hours, because sometimes it's, 41 or 43, whatever the case may be. And then the date of whatever day you were there, and a small description of what you did and how many hours that took. And then you will sign it, and your supervisor will sign it. So you will turn this in when you get to 40 hours, and um, you will upload it right here to a regular assignment like you would any other Canvas assignment. Once you do that, once you hit 40 hours, you'll turn in your hour report and your time log. Same thing for the 80 hours. You have another time log, a new one. It says 80 hours at the top, and you have an 80-hour report due, which are also different questions. At 120 hours, it's a little different. You do have the same time log to turn in. However, you will be writing a paper about faith reflection. You'll be answering these questions. This is more about the business and what you're doing, and how you see if there's Christianity in this business, or how you talk about your own faith during work and things like that. So this will be that paper for the 120. And then finally, your 160, you'll have the same time hours log, and you'll have your hours report, and you will have your capstone project. So a capstone project, you can start working on this before 160 hours, but this is worth 13% of your overall grade. So this is a APA formatted 2,000 word, minimum of 5 references. Do not use AI for this, but you are going to be discussing something that you saw in your internship, but more in a research paper form. So I've had students talk about, when they were working in sports medicine, about dehydration and how it affects performance. I've had students talk about how injury tracking softwares aren't always reliable and what they would change. We've had students talk about dry needling versus cupping in rehabilitation practices. So there's a lot of different things that you could do for this. This is up to you to really decide. And then finally, the last thing, which I do suggest starting during your last week of your internship, would be your site supervisor final evaluation. So if you remember when you signed the Adobe form to start, to get enrolled in this class, this is very similar, except for this is the end. So you will click this link, and you're going to fill out all of the information. Remember, you will need your site supervisor's name and your ACU faculty mentor's name. So you'll click this link. And like we've done before, it's a little bit grayed out. You hit the continue button. You type in your name. You type in what semester it is and your site supervisor's name. And then you scroll down to the bottom and you click to sign. And then you can sign it, or you can type your name, whatever the case may be. Now, this is the important part. This is where the workflow starts. So hit this click to sign. And remember, you've seen this pop-up box before. We need your site supervisor's name and email address here. And so make sure this is the correct email address. This is not your email address. This is your site supervisor's email address. And then next is your faculty mentor's name. This is whoever has been grading this course the whole time for you. So it's probably myself or Dr. Jones, someone like that. And you would need their email address also. If you'll need to enter your email address, usually we like you to use your ACU address. Um, and so then you would be able to click to sign. You will then need to go to your email. You just have one more step, and you will need to confirm that that is your email address. And that will then workflow to your site supervisor. And after your site supervisor, it will then workflow to your faculty mentor. And then when everybody signs it, you will get a final copy in your email, and you will then upload it here. I hope this helps. Have a great semester.